everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to my Historathon Vlogs Part 3. So if you have not seen any of these or my TBR, what I decided to do is there is a readathon going on the entire month of November called Historathon. It's hosted by 3 lovely ladies. I will have them linked down below. And the goal is just to read more historical fiction. And historical fiction is a genre that I like, but I don't pick it up nearly as often as I wanted to. However, each of the 3 hosts gave you 3 prompts just to kind of guide your reading. And they said you could choose one from each of them. You could do whatever. Well, I decided to use their prompts to make my November TBR. So for each host, I chose one historical fiction and often 2 something else. I think there's one that I did 2 historical fiction. But that way I'm reading 3 or 4 historical fiction and I'm not getting bogged down by it because I don't read it all the time. So and then in the first vlog, I read one prompt from each host. Second vlog, same thing. And now this third vlog, I'm going to be wrapping up reading the last 3 books on my November TBR. So there will be at least 1 historical and 2 other books. So I have actually already finished one of these books. So the one that I read was actually not historical, but it was nonfiction, and it is Sunshine, and it's how one summer taught me about life and death and love or something. I don't know. I will have the cover up. But this is a graphic memoir about this guy who, as a teenager, he went to what's called Camp Sunshine. And it is a camp for terminally ill children. And so he goes, the goal of the camp is just to have them have a carefree, fun weekend. And so he goes there and he's got a one-on-one that he is a kid with brain cancer that he is in charge of hanging out with. And so it's his story really falling for him as well as other kids at the camp and just finding his heart and finding his passion for working with terminally ill kids and just how much he got out of this week. And this counts for the prompt of recommended to you by a favorite. I was recommended this by a sweet subscriber, Angela. She's one of my favorites, and she said she really liked it, and I read it at a really unfortunate time. If you guys have been watching, we've had sick kids off and on forever, and my kids being sick is one of my major anxiety triggers. So then reading about these kids who are terminally sick, thankfully mine have been cold and flu season sick, but it was kind of triggering. So it took me a long time to read it, but I still really enjoyed it. And I really enjoy just the whole notion of giving can change your heart so much more than the person receiving. And I really enjoyed this graphic novel and would highly recommend. It's kind of hard to get a hold of. I couldn't get it at my library forever, and then I finally got it. And so yeah, I really would recommend it. So that is that. I'm actually in the middle of the other 2 prompts, so this could be a quick one, but we'll see.
Hey everyone, so I have finished the last 2 books, and as you can tell, this is going to be kind of a quick vlog because I finished the books and really wanted to update you as I was reading, as things are going on, but I have not had a voice in probably 4 days, and this is not uncommon for me. So one of my kids brought home some sort of cold virus, something. Of course, I got it, and I get laryngitis at least once or twice a year where I just lose my voice. And so with any sort of respiratory anything, I always lose my voice. So we're back, though. We are on the mend. Everybody's just got lingering snotty nose, coughs, 'tis the season. So I finished the last 2 books. So I finished Where's Anne Frank? And this is so interesting. This is a short graphic novel. That my biggest complaint is that it's so short, but it's a graphic novel, and I almost question, is it historical or is it fantasy? And I would say it's kind of more fantasy. But this is a graphic novel about Anne Frank's imaginary friend named Kitty. And Kitty is who she wrote to in her journal. And so Kitty comes to life, and it's present day, and she is wondering, where's Anne Frank? She's in the Anne Frank house, and the journal is there, all of that, but things are much different, obviously, because it's 75 years later. And so she's wondering, where's Anne Frank? And when she is in the house, she is invisible, but when she leaves the house, she becomes visible, and as long as she is with the diary. So of course, if Anne Frank's diary goes missing, that's a huge deal. And so there's kind of some chase. She makes friends with a guy named Peter, just like Anne Frank's friend named Peter. And it's a really interesting thing that in and of itself, it was probably like a 3.5 star. It was pretty quick, nothing exceptional necessarily, but it really made me want to like dive deep back into the Anne Frank thing and reread the diary and reread things about it. Because it's just so fascinating. So I really enjoyed that one. And then I also read Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair, which is the first in the Sweater Weather series. And I have been so highly anticipating this series because I've heard nothing but good things. And you guys, I think my expectations were just off. Maybe gonna have to have some clips and cuts in this because I've got all 3 of my children right here and trying to keep them off camera. And my baby has already knocked over 1 trash can, and it's, I don't know if you heard that, but there's a lot of uh-ohs going on. So I'm going to try to be quick about this. But so I read Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair, and my expectation was that it was going to be full of fall vibes, and it was not. It was not at all. But it was a really sweet, clean, cute romance. And so this is about 2 people who I'm already spacing on their names. It's been like 4 or 5 days, but it's been a rough 4 or 5 days. Anyway, so I'm spacing on their names. But he used to be her brother's best friend. So when they were growing up, goodness, I should probably look up their names, but he was her brother's best friend, and her brother was always kind of a bully. He was 4 years older, so really didn't want his little sister hanging around, and our main male was friendly to her, and so she always had a crush on him, all that, whatever. Well, now she is the social media manager for a minor league hockey team, and he plays for the NHL, but he gets kind of bumped down because he gets in a nasty fight and whatever. So it's the 2 of them re-navigating their friendship, their romance, all that kind of stuff. And it was super sweet. It was really fun, really cute. I really I felt like the courting was realistic and good. And my baby is getting in the trash can now. Hold on. Luckily in here, you guys, it's just paper trash. But anyway, so they it was sweet. I really enjoyed it. And I liked how he kind of was always kind to her. Even though he was this like grumpy, rough guy, he was still really kind to her. And it was really sweet. I enjoyed it fully. It just didn't have the fall vibes that I anticipated. Anyway, so that is the end of this Historathon Part 3. I have officially read my entire November TBR. It is November 21st, so that feels great. And yeah, that's everything. So I will link Parts 1 and 2 down below. I'll link the TBR down below. We've got little fingers all over things. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.